Today in Project Zomboid, we'll go through the story of Steve Pedersen, a psychopath army veteran who's hell-bent on murder. Steven, being the scourge he is, does not shy away from manipulation. His positive traits are gun specialist, evasive, fast learner, fast healer, gymnast, inconspicuous, speed demon, desensitized. His negative traits are smoker, injured, deprived, broke leg, obese, and alcoholic. Will he survive the apocalypse? Let's find out. Steven's mind was as stable as a man's asshole after 2 burritos. He found a rolling pin which would do fine as a murder weapon. He dressed up and was ready to go outside. But before he would do that, there was his favorite show, Carpentry with Jeffrey Dahmer, so he sat down and watched it. Outside, he realized how truly free he was. He could finally murder without any consequences. Put them glasses on, Steven. Oh yes, now you truly look psychotic. Rolling pin was not doing it, so he found a better weapon in neighbor's garage. The world was in his grasp. He no longer had to hold himself back. But he almost died because of his broken leg, so he had to return back home and spend the night there. Oh, come back home, you cursed man. Next morning, his injuries were miraculously gone. This man was thirsty for blood and cigarettes. Steve took off immediately to satisfy his needs. His hobby was standing on top of infected while killing others. Whoops, behind you, Steve. Oh no. It's just a scratch. This guy was either blessed by God or the devil himself, because a shotgun appeared literally right behind him. Now he had to go to the police station for bullets. Steve dispatched a poor NFL player and robbed him of his helmet. What was this? Another human. Steve's magnificent brain power came into a conclusion. They would join forces. Roy agreed to join, but he wouldn't budge. He was hell-bent on staying in this house. Well, there was only one thing left for Steve to do. Steve then took off and tortured zombies with a leaf rake. After a full-blown massacre, the house was beautiful. Red and filled with corpses. Steve went outside and found another victim. Murdering her would not prove productive, so Steve decided to join teams with Ashley and use her in any way he could. They together then found a cop car, and they found the keys inside of the house. He finally found some cigarettes and a little bit of booze. Life was good. Steven then found a freedom patch, and he wore it proudly. How ironic. It was time to call it a day, and Ashley and Steven went to sleep. Hungry Steven was a dangerous Steven, so he ate some canned spaghetti. Ashley and Steven took off for the police station. Along the way, Steven saw a man with a jetpack. Interested, he went to investigate. It was a sham. Although he did come out with a duffel bag, which was a win, nonetheless for Steven. Along the way, Steven discovered a desert eagle on a corpse. Spoiler alert, he never found any bullets for it. After hours of limping, he finally arrived. Oh, what treasure they found. They were ready for war. Steve gave M16 to Ashley, and he settled for M4 instead. Oh, look at them go. They look so intimidating. They decided the next stop would be the fire station, so they begun to clear up the place. Taste Steven's freedom, you bastards. You can see his experience by how he clears the rooms. He thinks this is a special operation. In the dressing room, Steven had a sudden urge to dance. Of course, Ashley avoided eye contact. How awkward. Oh, another TV show. Cooking with Jeffrey Epstein. I think I'm seeing a pattern with Jeffries here. Steven gave an axe to Ashley. He was tired of her using a plank. Was this empathy? No, it wasn't. He just wanted Ashley to be more useful. Next morning, they returned back to the cop car. He was running low on alcohol. There was a bar nearby, so he decided to visit. This place was a heaven for alcoholics. Steven began besieging the castle. His cannonballs attracted zombies from miles away. It was not looking good for this limping psychopath. But Steven was happiest in life or death situations. That has become his only reason to live, to test and push his limits. Fear of death for Steven was non-existent. He found a soldier amidst the corpses, so he took the military gear for himself. The good old times. It was getting late, so they decided to sleep in the bar. Waking up, Steven saw a few undead outside, so he took off to dispatch of them. Soon he realized the calamity he has brought on himself. Rest in peace, Ashley. You were a good little soldier. And that's what you were for Steven. A good little soldier. Steven saw a barricaded courthouse, so he went in to investigate. That's where he found Ross. Ross was a legendary man, a true expert in survival. He told Steven that recruiting more people was essential. They went to the police station and grabbed everything they could and put it into the trunk of the cop car. First, they found Wendy. The three then took off and started looting houses for supplies. Steven found some interesting books, so he took a break and started reading. It was getting late. Steven fell asleep. In the morning, he looked at himself. He was getting a little too self-conscious about his hair, so he took care of it. He fixed his beard too. So sexy. Wendy finally received some military gear. If Steven was planning to recruit more people, he needed more military gear. Ashley was wearing pretty good stuff, so he decided to return to bar. That's where he met Diane. He gave Diane his previous gear. Unfortunately, Ashley's dead body was not here. Steven found an empty large gas can in a motel south side of the bar. He took it back. He thought it would prove useful. Going back, he found James. That was it. The gang was assembled. No one could stand against these guys. Ross and Steven led these group of survivors to success. The future was looking bright. They were slowly getting Rosewood back from the undead. A couple of days later, Steven was sitting in his room, thinking. Peace was good and all, but Steven still was not satisfied. That's when he came up with an insane idea. He wanted to take the prison. Every experienced player knows that taking the prisoner is a suicidal mission. But no, not for Steven. He convinced everyone and they took off. Steven looked inside. Here they come. Teams split up, trying to fight the zombie horde. Ross came back, but no sign of others. While fighting the second wave of the horde, Steven made a tragic discovery. It was James. He had fallen victim to the infected. Steven had enough, so he started to deal with the infected with his rifle. Steven and Ross finally infiltrated the armory. They had all the access to guns and ammunition. But at what cost? Thought Ross. They slept in the armory. Next morning, Steven started playing with his guns, a sniper rifle to be exact. He killed hundreds. Ross would guide the infected and Steven would shoot them. After the fight, Steven found that Ross was shaking. He went and checked up on him. He found that he was bit. Upon seeing this, Steven guided Ross a little bit far from the prison. Ross quickly understood what Steven was planning, but Steven was first. He stood upon the corpse of his comrade, his friend, and was taunting him. He was trying to break the legs off of him. Truly an abomination, this man. This is where Steven's downfall began. First, he met Samantha, call sign Cobra, then Christine, call sign Beta, and last edition was Heather, call sign Dog. He formed a military group with like-minded people. They were raiders. They together pillaged and raided the whole Rosewood. They used Dog as a pack mule, so in one of these raids, she suddenly disappeared. After burning Rosewood down, they moved on to the next town. Steven stopped the car, seeking the thrill of being at a disadvantage. Numbers were too great for even him to handle. He never felt this happy. Truly a masochistic man. But this would be his last fight. In the end, Steven died right next to his comrade. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Today we learned a valuable lesson. If you are a psychopath, yes, you can survive. But also, we normal people should be careful with whom we form alliances. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.